When we need to do something with these unraveling edges, we turn to an overlock stitch. Now, if you don't have a serger, this is what you're going to use. Now, if you do have a serger, sometimes that serger is not always threaded up with the right color. You don't want to take it out. This is a great place to know where those stitches are. So when you only have to go a little ways, you're not rethreading it or doing something like that. So let's just go ahead. We're going to tell it that we have a woven light, so fabric A, and then the second technique is overcast. Look, it tells us we're using a new foot letter J. J has a little tiny pin in here. You can kind of see it running across right with the edge of this big toe, and on the back you can kind of see it as well. When we put that foot on, we're going to be able to have something to guide, so we keep the stitches running right along the edge of the fabric. Sometimes, and you can use a lot of different stitches, but it's also nice that as you change from fabric to fabric, it will change different stitches, so you always have the right one selected. Now, the first time that you use this, you might want to just take a little scrap of fabric so you can see if you're lining up the edge properly, because you want the stitch that comes all the way to the far right side to actually go off into air. You don't want it to be on fabric, because that's where you're going to contain those raw edges that are sitting and sticking out, or that will happen once you start to wash your project. So you're finding you're running your fabric right along the edge of that big toe. Now, when you get to the end of your fabric, you're going to lift up the presser foot, but your last stitch is probably going to be on that pin. You can't pull to the side. Pull straight back, and then cut your thread, and that stitch the foot will release the stitch. See how great that looks? And then look, no more unraveling edges. So once again, when you change from different fabrics, you're going to notice that oftentimes you'll get a different stitch or a different setting for the different fabrics you'd be picking. So just remember, your sewing advisor is right there with you.